This is the hardest video I've ever had to make, and honestly, I don't even know what to call this. And I don't know if this is going to upset anyone. Whoever's watching this, I ask that you please watch the entire video. Watch it to completion. If what I say does offend you, feel free to attack me in the comments. I won't retaliate or anything. Say whatever you want to say. Let your feelings be known. It's okay. And I know a lot of people don't see my videos, but if you do, please watch this to completion. Originally, I was going to make a video about some evangelicals are in support of Black Lives Matter, and I was going to address that, tell them how, these people are rioting, causing trouble, and you shouldn't be doing this. I was gonna say that. I was gonna go into it, and I was gonna refer to them as, I was basically gonna call Black Lives Matter and Antifa basically domestic terrorists, and as Christians we shouldn't call people like that. We're not supposed to pass judgment on people, and I have in Facebook posts, and I'm sorry for doing that. I shouldn't call people names, or judgment is for God alone. But in this video, right now, I want to address these groups directly. Both Black Lives Matter and Antifa, the people who are basically doing these riots. And I know not everyone that's been participating in these protests are partaking in these riots and doing this stuff, and I'm not saying some of them have been doing this peacefully, and they are legitimately concerned about the issues at hand. And I know this. So to them, good on you for wanting to handle things peacefully and get your voices heard. Good on you for that, for doing things peacefully. Now, to the two groups I mentioned, Black Lives Matter and Antifa. I don't know if anyone from those groups are going to see this. Like I said, not a lot of people see my YouTube videos. I understand. I'm not the best speakers. My videos probably aren't that interesting to a lot of people, and a lot of people don't watch the whole videos, but please just watch this one. Even if you never watch any of my videos at all or to completion, just watch. And here's what I'm going to say. To those groups, to anyone who's supporting them, who thinks all these things they're doing is okay, please stop. Hear me out and listen to me on this. These things you guys are doing, it spreads more hatred, more prejudice, and this will only serve to bring our country down and down. The real enemies here aren't white. They're not black. Not anything like that. The real ones, for whatever reason, the politicians in Washington, primarily on the left, for some reason are wanting to cause all this chaos. I don't know what they're wanting to do with this country, but people in Washington, they don't care. The majority of them, I'm not saying no politicians don't care, but the majority of the people in Washington don't care about the American people, and I am referring to the left. Now, before I go any further with that, I'd like to establish, I don't think that all people on the left are bad people. Not all of them are extremists. The right, the conservatives, they have their fair share of extremists and wackos who think, let's just shoot everyone is the answer to everything. And no, I'm not advocating taking away people's guns. I made a video about that, but killing each other is not the answer. But listen here. The extremists, the ones who do radically want to change things and not for the worst, who don't tolerate people's different opinions, make up the majority of the ones who hold power in offices, and they're the ones wanting to change things. I know a lot of this is about race, okay? Racism and all that. Cop killed a black man. But listen to me. It's just skin color. It's just the amount of melanin, I think that's how it's pronounced, that you have in your body that makes you darker. All this is skin color. Why are we hating each other? Why are we harming and murdering each other over skin color? I know blacks were mistreated back in the old days during slavery, segregation. I admit that. My mom, she was actually a kid during the time of segregation, and she would see black men get off the sidewalk into the street when a white woman walked by, and she asked her grandma why they did those things, and her grandma replied, "That's just the way the things are." Yes, things were bad back then, but they're better now. Now, racism still exists. Believe me, I know that. I grew up in a town full of racist people. Okay, blacks weren't even allowed to live out there. If a black rented an apartment, most likely the apartment would get burned down. It's a long story. I grew up around racism, and like my mom, I just didn't understand how this thing. But why do we have to hate each other like this? Why? Why can't we just all get along? I know we all have differing opinions, but is it so hard to just agree to disagree? Is it really? I just don't get why all this hate. I know some people like to cause trouble, but we need to come together. Our country is in big trouble, and the only way to save this country from whatever the extremists and the extremist politicians want to do with it, the only way to come together is to fight against it. And I'm not saying take up arms against government or any of that. No, that'll just lead to more pointless violence and bloodshed. What I'm saying is, we need to vote these people out. We need to come together. Because you see, what they're trying to do is get a divide in us, tear us apart, so they can basically do what they want. For some reason, the Democrats are wanting socialism. They're wanting complete control. And we need to stop that before we lose our rights, before we lose what this nation stood for. I know there was slavery, there was segregation, blacks were oppressed. I know that, and it was wrong. But we need to come together to fix these things. This chaos that these groups are causing, these riots, they're not solving anything. During the Civil Rights Movement, Martin Luther King, what he wanted was equality. People, this isn't what he fought for. This isn't what he died for. He wanted blacks and whites to come together, to be united as one, for all of us to come together and get along, even if we disagree with each other, okay? To expect everyone to just agree on every little issue, that's not going to happen, okay? Everyone's going to have disagreements on everything, but why can't we just let bygones be bygones and just try to get along, or at least just tolerate each other? If you don't want to be around someone, just try your best to stay away from them. If you don't like someone for whatever reason, just stay away from them. But what's going on is it's no reason to go out and hurt people that never did anything to you. Look, I know they're corrupt cops. What that cop did, he killed that guy, and it was very wrong, and he should face justice, okay? I agree that it was wrong. There are plenty of corrupt cops. That's a fact. But there are also good cops. Cops that want to stand up for what is right, who want to protect the innocent. And getting rid of cops is going to cause chaos beyond what we could probably imagine, okay? Even if you want to police your own communities or whatever, it's not going to work, okay? We need the police. We just need to be more mindful of who we put in those uniforms. And yes, some police do abuse their power. That's a given, okay? And those police need to be removed, and if they've done anything wrong, be punished. But we need cops, the good cops that protect us. We just need to get along. Stop hating each other for the color of our skin. Okay, look, none of us is perfect. Okay? My channel's a Christian channel, so I'm just going to say it like this. We're all sinners. Every one of us. Some of these black people call white people inherently evil. I forget, some dude said it. We're all inherently evil. We all fall short of the glory of God. That's why he sent Jesus to die for us. To give us a way to repent for this evil we are. And to be with him for eternity. The only one who was ever perfect, who walked this earth, was Jesus, and that's because he was without sin. People, listen to me. Just stop it, okay? Stop this madness. Stop destroying each other, because the more we destroy each other, the farther apart we're going to grow. And the farther apart we grow, the weaker we become to let whoever wants to take over and control us do so. Please, just stop. Come together. Accept the differences. Let's just try, at least try, to think of our fellow man, to at least just get along and tolerate each other. I don't know what else to say on this matter. Just get along. Jesus died for all of us. Whites, blacks, Hispanic, Asian, whatever other colors there are. He died for all of us, and he just wants us to get along and love each other. At least try to tolerate each other and stop this chaos. Stop hurting innocent people and destroying their businesses, their lives. Just try to think of your fellow man. Anyway, basically, please, just stop this, and let's just try to stand together and try to be one. The next part I want to address, but to the Christians who have been doing these marches and going out for the protests and all this. Look, I know you guys are doing this peaceful. You're wanting to make it heard against racism, which, like I said, still does exist. And I'm not saying you're doing anything wrong. But here's the thing. These protests, these marches, because of the chaos and destruction that's going on, people view them in a negative light. And as Christians, I believe our duty, first and foremost, is to spread the gospel And if people view us doing these protests and marches, they might view us as causing trouble, and we're not supposed to do that. Just like with the protests over the virus, taking our rights away, causing trouble. As Christians, our number one objective, why we are here, is to spread the gospel. That should be what we concentrate on. And I mean, I'm not saying you shouldn't speak out, but do it in a way that wouldn't cause issue or tension or whatever. You have social media, speak about it there. I think the best thing we can do now for our country is pray. Just come together and pray. It's like this. It's like I said, any protesting and stuff, that's probably going to have a negative view. And while you're not doing anything wrong by this, and understand why you want to do this, we should make sure that we're not giving anyone any negative thoughts about us. That's why I believe Christians should stay away from worldly places like bars and stuff. Even if you don't go in there to get drunk and hook up, you should still stay out of those places so you could be an example of to what is right. And with these marches and protests, a lot of them leading to chaos, even though it's peaceful, I just think what we should do right now is just pray. Just come together, join hands, and just pray. And above all, do our duty and spread the gospel, for that is what we are here for. Again, I'm not saying you're doing anything harmful or wrong or hurting anyone. I just think we are better just praying, just coming together and pray. And just trying to lead people to the gospel as best we can. Alright, this has gone on for 17 minutes. I'm blabbing around like I tend to do. If anything has upset you, go to the comments and just have it out. Unleash your frustration. I don't want any of this to lead to any arguments and comments. If for some miracle a lot of people do see this video, just please don't try to argue with each other, but vent your rage, say whatever you want to me. Just let it all out. It's fine. But please, let's just stop this needless and senseless chaos. Just stop all this. Come together and be who Jesus wants us to be. Jesus wants us to love each other. First and foremost, He wants us to accept His gift of salvation. And, you should do that before anything else. Come to Christ. But He also wants us to love each other. Love your enemies, He says. So please, just stop. Okay. I love you all, and I hope you can learn to love each other. Stephen out.